Today we're going to talk about the very deep and powerful extratropical cyclone Eowyn, which is going to be moving to the west coast of Eowyn by the early morning hours on the 24th of January, and after that this powerful cyclone is going to continue to move to the northeast and it's going to affect the northern parts of the UK as well. So what kind of severe wind gusts we can expect? Currently the models are showing wind gusts that can approach up to 180 even to 200 kilometers per hour. Now this is the storm which I'm showing you currently on the satellite animation, the infrared satellite animation that is from windy.com. Currently this is our developing cyclone which is going to rapidly intensify in the next hours, and we expect the so-called bombogenesis. This is when the pressure in the center of the cyclone just falls so rapidly that it's more than 24 hectopascals for 24 hours. And when this cyclone is in its peak, when it's near to Eowyn, the pressure inside the center of the cyclone is going to be around 940 hectopascals, which is extremely low, and we haven't had such kind of powerful cyclone near Europe in the last few decades. So now let's move and see the latest forecast from the European model, the Euro model, and to see what kind of winds we can expect with this powerful cyclone. Now here you can see it. This is by the early morning hours on the 24th of January. Those are the wind gusts going up to 220 kilometers per hour simulated by one of the most reliable models, and it's like now for only 24 hours ahead, so we're quite certain with this forecast. And when we get to the morning hours by 6 UTC, you can see that the west coast of Eowyn is getting hit by some very strong wind gusts which are going to be approaching somewhere around 200 kilometers per hour. But now let's look at the sustained winds as well. So I'm going to change the map to the winds at the surface at 10 meters above the ground, and here you can see at the peak of this powerful extratropical cyclone the winds are going to be reaching to 170 kilometers per hour. Even here you can see 176 kilometers per hour sustained winds. Now this is very serious just because it is just a little bit below the winds that we have when we have a hurricane from category 3. So hurricane with category 3 has winds that are 178 kilometers per hour. So this is just short of hurricane 3 powerful winds. And after that, after the west coast of Eowyn gets those powerful winds and wind gusts, then of course northern parts of the UK are going to have strong winds as well. But for now the most concerning is the situation over the western parts of the UK, and this is why their National Weather Service has already issued red warnings for the severe wind gusts. And as you can see, for the United Kingdom we have yellow and red warnings as well. So what are the conditions that are creating this powerful cyclone here? Now if I change the map and I show you a map for whole Europe, we're going to change now for whole Europe, and we're going to go directly to the map with the temperature at 850 hectopascals. Why we're choosing this temperature? This is around 1.5 kilometers above the ground. I'm choosing this level just because it can easily show us the temperature difference between the air masses. And here we have the sharp temperature difference between this very cold air mass and the hotter air mass from the south and the hotter water temperatures. And here where there's this sharp temperature difference, we have the baroclinic instability, we have the jet stream moving ahead, and here you can see this cyclone is being developed by 9 UTC on the 23rd of January, and then with the strong jet stream, the strong winds that are moving like in the upper levels of the troposphere around 9 to 10 kilometers above the ground, this cyclone is going to be moving very fast to the east. Here we can see the jet stream at 9 kilometers above the ground. You can see that it's very powerful. The winds at the upper atmosphere are going to be locally more than 300 kilometers per hour. But notice what happens by the end of today, by the end of the 23rd of January. This jet stream breaks to two different branches, and in the middle, let me just draw it here so you can see it better. At this place, this is the left exit region of this jet stream, and in the left exit region of the jet stream we have a divergence of the winds aloft, which means that the winds are going to go a little bit above the main jet stream, and then they are going to separate in two different directions, mainly to the left and to the right. So let me just show it here. So one branch of the winds goes to the left, the other one goes to the right, and this creates the divergence in the upper levels of the atmosphere. When the wind is diverging at the upper levels of the atmosphere, this causes a vacuum effect at the surface, and the winds at the surface start to converge, and when they meet, this creates an uplift of air into the upper levels of the atmosphere, which helps to create convection, storms, and helps this very powerful cyclone to be very deep. But also we have a dry air intrusion. Just because the air mass on the north is so cold, this is going to help for a very powerful dry air intrusion. So cold and dry air from the upper levels of the troposphere and the lower levels of the stratosphere is going to be pushed down and is going to circle around the center of the cyclone, increasing the baroclinic instability and making this cyclone even more powerful. So yes, this is quite a severe situation, and if you live in Ireland or UK, make sure to follow the guidance of your National Weather Institute.